Dubai, where the world's best triathletes have come to battle for glory under the relentless desert sun. A stellar cast led by two powerhouse women. Taylor Knibb has been to the last two Olympics and got silver at both. After 3 wins from 3 T100 races this season, can she top it all off and become the T100 World Champion? First or second will do. In her way is the queen of the 100K, Australian Ashley Gentle, who must first beat Taylor and then hope for divine intervention. Welcome to the T100 World Championships. Well, this is it. 6 of the most brutal triathlon races on the planet are behind us, and we now find ourselves here amongst the glitz and glamour of Dubai, where the time is now for one woman to be crowned the first ever T100 World Champion. Well, let's find out how our inaugural season has played out and what's at stake here in the desert. Well, only 3 women have been on the top step in the T100 races this season. It was India Lee first in Miami, Ashley Gentle 2 wins, first in Singapore and then in London. And Taylor Knibb, well, she's won 3 times this season in San Fran, Ibiza and Vegas. After 6 rounds, this is the state of play for our women. Taylor Knibb on 105 points, and she has a 13-point buffer over Ashley Gentle on 92 points. If Taylor places first or second, she wins the T100 title. Ash, on the other hand, has to win, and for Taylor to finish third to be crowned champion. Then it's India Lee in third and Imo Simmons in fourth. All the women, though, in the top 10 currently occupy the most wanted spots, a guaranteed contract for next season. And those outside the top 10 will be fighting with all their might for those coveted places. Well, the points have changed for the grand final today. They're more weighted. As you can see, 55 for the winner instead of the usual 35 awarded across the regular season. It's 45 for second and 40 for third. And you can see all the points then for our top 20 today. Well, there's a world title on the line, but also a share of the $2 million prize purse, with $210,000 for our winner and $140,000 for a runner-up. This is in addition to the regular round prize purse of $250,000.
And we are here, the last race on the T100 World Tour in 2024. This is the first time I've felt this nervous all year. I can only imagine what these women are feeling.
On your marks.
And we can see that Taylor Knibb and Ashley Gentle to the right-hand side of your screen, starting next to each other. A big moment here for Ashley Gentle. Everyone is talking about these conditions suiting her. With Taylor Knibb starting directly next to her, you can see right now Ashley Gentle has just made the move to try and get over onto Taylor Knibb's feet. Rest assured, Taylor Knibb will be trying to swim away from Ash Gentle right from the start of this race. Worst case scenario for Taylor Knibb is that she gives Ashley Gentle a ride on her feet today, so you can be guaranteed that she will be swimming super hard from the start, and you can see that she has taken the lead. Taylor Knibb not always the kind of athlete who is going to lead the swim from the start, but this gives you a sense of just how important this swim start is today with Ashley Gentle starting next to her. My name's Jack Kelly and I'm joined by the one and only Vicky Holland in commentary. Vicky, what do you see so far?
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, we've had a fast and furious start as we expected. Out onto the left of screen, I think that's Sarah Perez-Sala. She's leading that first sort of line of athletes, I guess you could say. And then in the middle, can't quite see, I think that's the white cap of Flora Duffy. And then, as you said, over on the right-hand side of screen, we've got Taylor Knibb and India Lee just trying to tuck in onto her feet with Imogen Simmons right behind her.
So you can see that Taylor Knibb in the orange cap closest to your screen leads the swim. On the far side in the blue cap, that's Sarah Perez-Sala. Interestingly enough, behind Taylor Knibb, we have India Lee in the red cap, the Miami champion. Imogen Simmons, a strong swim biker, in the green cap. and fighting for her feet in the purple cap. That's Ashley Gentle. This is a massive moment in today's race. The reason why is because this bike course, it doesn't suit Taylor Knibb like every bike course does. We just assume that if Taylor Knibb gets out on the bike, Ashley Gentle, India Lee, Julie Duron, they're not going to be anywhere near her. However, this course is so technical that the one minor weak link in Taylor Knibb's armour is the technical ability, to the point that she's had to go and hire a technical bike coach. So if India Lee, Imogen Simmons and Ashley Gentle can stay with her on the swim, anything can happen here today. Sarah Perez-Sala, your early swim leader. With the absence of Lucy Charles-Barclay here, Sarah Perez-Sala is the one who's assumed control of this race. And we are joined in commentary, like always, by the 5-time world champion, the great, the one, the only, Jan Frodeno.
Jack, Vicky, it is good to be with you on this extremely exciting day. What a day of firsts, a world title, a new world champion. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this.
We have a very clear front group established here. Ashley Gentle is at the back of it. She's made the split for the first time in a long time. Sarah Perez-Sala, the one drilling it out in front.
This is a vital moment for Ashley. I mean, we can see from this image how high her stroke rate is. She's working incredibly hard to stay there, but there's a big gap back behind her, and if she were to drop off now, she's in no man's land. She'll have to do the whole swim herself, so this is a vital moment for Ashley. We're going to get a time check as they come out the water. We're going to get splits. We'll be able to see who has made this front pack. It's bigger than usual. Sarah Perez-Sala, no swim skin. Just doing it on her own out front. Flora Duffy, Taylor Spivey, Taylor Knibb. That is Julie Duron going in there. So she has made it. A little gap back to India Lee, Imogen Simmons, and on the back, crucially, Ashley Gentle's made it.
This is unbelievable. That is the first time this has happened in the 2024 T100 World Tour, and it is here today in Dubai for the biggest one of them all, the grand final.
And that's Kate Curran taking on a little bit of ice. Wow, she's going to swim with ice down her front for that second lap. So that shows you how hot it is in the water. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that. Take ice in between lap 1 and 2, pop it down the swim skin and head back in.
We can see Ash Gentle holding on to the back of that group. The question was asked, did Taylor Knibb look around and see who was behind her? There's 2 looks back. She's seen Indy Lee, she's seen Imogen Simmons, and she's seen her main rival for the T100 2024 World Championship, Ashley Gentle. Ashley Gentle, this tenacious, I'm going to show everyone attitude, it's showing itself here at the swim.
And I think her knowing this may eventually be the last chance. She's not guaranteed to have another shot at a world title. Is just another way of pushing her to the front and making her extra motivated.
It's at this point in the race, T1, where we're used to seeing Taylor Knibb do Taylor Knibb things and ride away from the front of the field. This here in Transition 1 is a huge moment as we see Taylor Knibb enter with Julie Duron, with Ashley Gentle. Sarah Perez-Sala already got her bike and is out. Can Taylor Knibb ride off the front of this race, or is today here at the T100 World Tour Grand Final a time where we finally find a crack in Taylor Knibb?
Well, Taylor Knibb knows now. She knows that Ashley Gentle has made it into that pack. She knows that Julie Duron has made it into that pack. She's taking her time here to put her socks on, but really her time to put effort to put that gap into those other athletes is now. She needs to put a gap in early on the bike. That first 14.5 kilometers until we get to the loop, that is the time when she can put a distance between herself and her rivals. She has to go now.
Ashley Gentle and Julie Duron left T1 before Taylor Knibb. Who picked that today?
Did not have that one on my bingo card. Did you also notice some of the athletes putting ice down their backs? I saw Taylor Spivey stand at her racking in T1 and just dump a load of ice down the back of her tri-suit. So some of them taking all the measures they can to keep themselves as cool as possible in these brutal conditions.
Right now at the front of the bike course, 7K's done. We've got 73 kilometres to go. The big three, Julie Duron out in front, Ashley Gentle in second, Taylor Knibb in third. Taylor Knibb is about to make the pass right now of Ashley Gentle. So Taylor Knibb, she has moved up to second position. Ashley Gentle being with Taylor Knibb 7 kilometres into this bike course with Julie Duron still out in front. This is wild. This is what we've been waiting for all season. The big three out in front here at Dubai T100. Ashley Gentle, Julie Duron, they have made their way back up to Taylor Knibb. I almost don't believe what I'm seeing, and it's happening right here. Finally, someone is competing with Taylor Knibb, and it's her two main rivals, Ashley Gentle and Julie Duron.
As we see the groups that are starting to form on the left of your screen here, a few lone strugglers, and yeah, back in 2005, I don't think anybody would have seen Flora Duffy riding with a helmet that big and racing around the beautiful backdrop of the Dubai T100, part of this amazing series. As we see Imogen Simmons here holding onto a bottle that she's obviously struggling to store because she's not allowed to put it down her top, and she must have not gotten rid of it in time, and now she has to hold onto this bottle in order to not get a littering penalty. That's not great, going over the bumpy technical sections. Oh, she's lost it.
It will be interesting to see what the TOs do about that, because you are not allowed to litter in that zone technically, but we are just hearing Imogen Simmons has been given a 30-second penalty for intentional littering.
Oh, but that's not what you want just as the group ahead is just dangling, and, you know, she's definitely riding very, very fair, but that's, you know, what's that, 50, 60 meters, a little bit too far for comfort. As we see Taylor Knibb edging her way one step closer to that much-desired world title.
That in front of us right now, the Burj Khalifa, the biggest building in the world at over half a mile tall, about 840 meters or something. It is incredible to see up close. And yeah, that skyline in front of you I mean, it looks like it's fake, but I assure you it's not.
We've seen Imogen Simmons, she's got the first penalty today for littering. Has Taylor Knibb just littered? That sign right there is the litter end zone. The bottle has winded up on the other side of the litter end zone. By the letter of the law, that is a 30-second penalty. There is no way around that. That bottle has found its way outside of the legal litter zone. Ashley Gentle making the pass once again on Julie Duron. They really have been sharing the load. Very interesting to see whether this bike effort is going to be taking a toll on either one of these women. Have they ridden too hard, or are they within themselves? We've also gotten word, officially no penalty for Taylor Knibb. It was deemed as unintentional littering. I think that is a brilliant common sense decision. She did try to dispose of the bottle inside the zone. I think it was very unlucky that it rolled out of it. So in my opinion, the right decision was made. No penalty for Taylor Knibb. We love to see common sense technical officiating, and it hasn't ruined the race right now. 2 minutes and 15 seconds is the lead Taylor Knibb has over Ashley Gentle and Julie Duron. We've done 76 kilometres, 4 kilometres to go on the bike. Taylor Knibb still putting down the pressure. Ashley Gentle and Julie Duron fighting to hold on. The gap's almost 2 minutes and 30 seconds now. It is really blowing out. I think the battle is now well and truly on. And this run, it is shady for a lot of it. A lot of this run takes place under shaded areas, so it won't be as brutally hot as if it was out on the highway. I'm not counting Taylor out here. I think she's really turned things around over the last lap or two, but Julie Duron sitting there in third position. She looms large, I think. Has Ashley Gentle overridden? Who knows, but we've seen what she's done in Singapore both this year and in 2023. It's anyone's race of the big three right now.
Well, this is the place to be. Lucy Charles-Barkley and myself down here in T2. It's going to get loud. Taylor Knibb is just a few meters away from coming into her final transition. 2:44 now, Lucy. It's not massive, but it's probably the closest we've seen her to other competitors the entire season.
Yeah, for sure, and this is the first time that we've had two of the strongest runners right behind her. This is the first time we're going to get real close eyeballs on how Taylor looks and how Ashley and Julie look as well. So then going out onto the run, it's all to play for.
Tell me how they feel right now. They've been out there for about 2 hours and 20. It's brutal, these conditions.
Yeah, they're going to be relieved to be getting off the bike, but it gets hotter when you get on the run. They're going to have more opportunity to cool down with the aid stations, but they're also going to need it more.
Okay, we're turning around now. Here is Taylor. She's just coming in right now, dismounted that bike. It's got loud. What's she thinking about on this blue carpet?
She's going to be thinking about executing that transition as best as she can, smooth, carefully, and then getting out onto that run, ideally before the other girls see her.
Give us your opinion. What does she look like right now?
Yeah, she's not looking too bad. She's still got that helmet on. Let's make sure she wants to get everything in the box. She doesn't want to get any penalties here. So, yeah, getting those shoes on nice and smooth. She's looking, she's focused, and she is out. That was quick.
That was such a quick transition. Now we're just waiting. It's a waiting game to see when the next three athletes come in and try and chase down not only the title, but Taylor Knibb, who is already down there. Lucy, I want just your thoughts on how the both women are looking at the moment.
Yeah, all three of them had really smooth dismounts. So we've got Ashley here getting through the transition, making sure she gets everything in that box. It's about taking your time here, being smooth, doing it all correctly. We don't want to get any penalties.
Different strategy. Taylor socks on, Ashley has to put her socks on. What benefited you the most?
Yeah, I always opted for putting them on the run, a fresh pair of socks. We've got Julie Derring, she's already out there and she's absolutely flying. Here goes Ashley. And Imo straight out there as well.
Wow, Julie Derring, what a transition for her. Ashley saw her though, and now she has that marker ready to chase down. That must be quite a help.
Yeah, for sure. She's actually probably going to be quite happy that Julie's there. It's going to really help her and assist her to catch up with Taylor. But that is the fastest transition I think I've seen in T100. We'll have to get the stats on the clock, but she has come from the Olympics. Transitions are so important in short course. They're becoming really important in T100 as well. It's that fourth discipline, and she's just smashed that.
And a final word as well on Imo. You know, she's still in the standings. She was placed fourth in the World Championship coming into this. In terms of how you felt she approached that transition and looked on the run?
Yeah, I mean, she basically was right behind Ashley there, so she's got that great runner to chase, and I think she looked great as well, so all to play for Imogen.
Well, it's been pretty exciting being down in T2, watching the first four women come through. Game on!
Well, what we saw when Ashley Gentle was putting her shoes on, those running shoes of hers, they didn't even have any laces in. So they're almost like slippers, but you have to then stretch them. As we see, she has made contact with Julie Derring, and this is the moment we needed to see. She's gone straight past Julie Derring. I was surprised to see that.
Wow. Ashley Gentle hasn't just run up to Julie Derring, she's gone past her. This isn't just the battle for today here at the grand final. This is the battle for the overall championship. Can Ashley Gentle break Julie Derring? Can she catch Taylor Knibb? Can Taylor Knibb hold on? Or does Julie Derring still have more cards to play? The battle is on here today in Dubai. Taylor Knibb looks great. She looks like she's running extremely well. The fact that Ashley Gentle is eating into that gap shows just how fast Ashley Gentle is running. At this rate, if things stayed exactly as they are right now, it's sprint finish territory.
That's what we all want, right? Everybody. I mean, we know if it was a sprint finish that Taylor Knibb would still win the overall series, but right now, that was a very near rolled ankle for Ashley Gentle there. But what right now we want to see is just the battle for this race today.
Imogen Simmons, she looks great for her on the run in these conditions. I would have thought the heat and humidity wouldn't have suited Imogen, but she looks amazing.
Well, we've seen the amount of sweat on her suit. I mean, I think we can't ignore the fact that all the other athletes will, of course, have been sweating hugely as well. It's just her suit and the way that we could see those salt stains looked as though she'd been sweating hugely from very, very early on the bike. But despite that, she is still performing extremely, extremely well here and having a brilliant race.
Taylor Knibb showing the heart of a champion, the strength and determination and fight of a champion. 50 seconds this gap got down to, it's now out to 52 seconds. And are we seeing Ashley Gentle crack? Both of these women extremely strong in the heat. Imogen Simmons growing up in the heat and humidity. Flora Duffy notorious for how strong she is in the heat. Flora Duffy has said that the only reason she's staying in triathlon is to try and be a T100 World Champion. She will be back on the T100 World Tour in 2025, the Olympic gold medalist. She is going from strength to strength in 2024, and to finish the season with a 4th place would be amazing. Ashley Gentle looks like she's struggling here. That pace for the first 12 kilometres has really caught up on her. Oh, I'm in awe of how she ran that first 12 kilometres, but I'm equally in awe of the fight and determination from Taylor Knibb as she passed. And Taylor Knibb is without question running faster than Ashley Gentle. If you had have said that 5 kilometres ago, no one would have believed it. Taylor Knibb is running faster than Ashley Gentle with 4 kilometres to go in the 30 degrees, 60% humidity here at Dubai. Taylor Knibb, how can you not be in awe of the performance we're seeing from the greatest middle distance triathlon on earth right now?
Yeah, here we see Ashley Gentle. She is battling as well. She's going to slow to almost a walk here.
Yeah, she has given her everything. She's taken all the risks, put everything on the line to try and win this title, and now she's slowed down to a walk. Heartbreaking. Come on, Ash. Come on. It's a kilometre and a half to go.
You've got to keep going. Got to get going again. Now she's going to have Kaidi Kivioya come past her here, and while she's a lap ahead of Kaidi, this could actually be really helpful for Ash. Oh no, she can't even get onto her. Come on, Ashley, take a second, catch your breath.
Oh, she's looking a little wobbly there, actually.
A little wobbly. We saw her holding her stomach. Hopefully she's just going to take a second to let everything settle.
You got to remember, there is a world collapsing right here. This is the realization where she knows that title is getting further and further away.
Whilst Ashley is moving again, Julie's moving significantly faster, and I think Julie Derrett is about to take that 2nd place off Ashley Gentle.
You can see Ashley Gentle very clearly putting in one last big effort there, but it looks like it might have been too much. Julie Derron, clearly the stronger of the two athletes.
Accelerating, going past, and dealing back no love. The same that she got from Ash on the way out, she is giving back. There is absolutely no love lost.
Taylor Knibb, 200 metres to go. She's already won 3 races on the T100 World Tour, and today at Dubai, she makes it number 4 at the biggest of them all, the grand final. Taylor Knibb, you are a world champion!
Oh my God.
Julie Derron, 2nd place finish here today at the T100 2024 Grand Final in Dubai. What a season from Julie Derron. Another 2nd place, 3 2nd place finishes behind the great Taylor Knibb.
Here she is, Ashley Gentle.
Courage from Ashley Gentle today. She put on a show. At one stage it looks like she was going to be the champion here today. In the end, fighting hard in the battle for the podium, finishing 3rd, collapsing across the finish line. What a race here today at the T100 World Tour Grand Final. Taylor Knibb showing all the heart and courage of a champion, finishing the season on 160 points and becoming our first ever T100 World Champion. She raced here 4 times, 4 victories. Just incredible season from Taylor Knibb. Ashley Gentle fought like crazy to the finish line, collapsing, wasn't even able to do an interview. That's how deep she went. She finished 2nd, 132 points. Julie Derron, the new face in the T100 World Tour, finishing in 3rd. Incredible. No one would have seen that coming at the very start of this year. Big things for Julie Derron in 2025. Kat Matthews, yeah, not too many words to describe how resilient and, you know, dedicated to her craft Kat's been this year. To finish 4th with all the racing she's done on 91 points, yeah, simply incredible. And Flora Duffy finishing 5th, the Olympic champion, showing that she's not just a one-trick pony and can compete over multiple distances.
Taylor, you've done it. I'm going to say that was perfect. 4 out of 4 wins on the tour. Victory today in Dubai, 160 points. You've got to say that was perfect. You've got to say you were happy with that.
Well, yes, I woke up and I messaged my coach that I just feel rough. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a bad day. So I was kind of shocked. It only kind of came together the last 3K when everyone else came apart. But it was very like step by step, and that was brutal out there. So have fun, men.
There you go, Taylor Knibb, the T100 World Champion. We get to do it all again. We get to find out who our first ever men's T100 World Champion is. Come back and join us for that. Dubai, the city of gold, where today the world's best triathletes come together to crown the world champion. Martin van Riel heads the start line as a strong favourite, with a podium finish securing him the title. But after his shock second place in Las Vegas, his competitors will be sensing blood. Lying in wait, Magnus Ditlev will be looking to re-find his early season form, and alongside him, Kyle Smith, Yuri Kulin and Sam Long will be fired up in an anything-can-happen race. It's the final 100K of the season, and the top 5 can all dare to dream. Across the 6 races, we've had 5 different winners in the men's T100 field. Magnus Ditlev took the Miami crown before wildcard Yuri Kulin surprised the world in Singapore. In that sprint finish, it was Martin van Riel with his first victory in San Francisco. Sam Laidlow took the win in London. Then it was van Riel again in Ibiza before our second wildcard winner, Jelle Gens, in Vegas. With 2 wins and a second, Martin van Riel leads the standings by a very healthy 19 points over Magnus Ditlev. If van Riel podiums today, he will win the title regardless of where any of the rest of the field place. For Ditlev to win the title, he has to win, and for van Riel to finish 4th or worse. 3 points further back in 3rd, it's wildcard Kyle Smith. 4th is Sam Laidlow, who is not competing today due to injury. 5th, Sam Long, and 6th, Yuri Kulin. All can win the title if other results go their way.
On your mark.
A little bit of a slow start for Martin van Riel, as you can see closest to your screen. He does have a little bit of work to do to get back to the front of this swim, but being the swimmer he is, he's already there straight away. You can see Kyle Smith ducked in behind. 2 very clear groups already starting to establish themselves. One closest to your screen, one over to the right. We saw yesterday with the women that things came together pretty quickly. Martin van Riel, he had a slow start and he's already straight to the front of this swim. You can see Yuri Kulin directly to his right, leading the sort of middle group. Kyle Smith is the one in the red cap behind Martin van Riel, closest to your screen in the orange cap. As always, I'm joined in champion by the Olympic bronze medalist and world champion, Vicky Holland.
Yeah, it's great to be here for yet another finals day at T100. We're about to crown another world champion. It doesn't get more exciting than this. And in the early stages of this swim, we can see now we've probably got 3, maybe even 4 distinct lines forming. That line right over to the left of your screen as you look at it, that line has Alistair Brownlee, Aaron Royal and Rico Bogan in it. And then right on the far right of screen, that is the line that has Kyle Smith, Martin van Riel, and somewhere Magnus Ditlev. And for him, this is an important moment of the race. You know, his swim is there or thereabouts, and on a day when maybe they're not going to swim quite as fast as they might do sometimes, he can hang on in there, as we saw the likes of Ashley Gentle and Julie Deron yesterday setting themselves up for fantastic races.
Martin van Riel taking this swim out hard early. You can see Kyle Smith in the red cap with the white sleeves and blue swimsuit. He's directly next to Yuri Kulin. Mathis Margier is the man in the white cap behind Yuri Kulin, and you can't see him now, but just to the right of the screen, Magnus Ditlev was there also.
That's a great overhead shot. We can already see there is an athlete really quite far back, and we are only a couple of minutes into this race, and at this point you'd have to say the high likelihood is that that is Sam Long. Now, we were anticipating that perhaps the swim would be a little bit slower than it often is due to the hot conditions in the water, and we thought that might really help Sam Long. It was also mentioned by Sam Laidlow about the extra saltiness of this water helps with the buoyancy. So far, that does not seem to be helping Sam Long. He is already a long way off the back of this group.
Martin van Riel's out in front, Jan. He made a little bit of a move early. He got about 3 or 4 meters at most, but Aaron Royal was the one who closed it down, and he is on his feet. That's Yuri Kulin without the swim cap. Surprisingly, maybe to some, in third position. He swam well all year, but he does deal well in the heat. We saw that in Singapore. And then you can see Rico Bogan in the blue cap sitting in fourth. And it is officially hotter here today than it was yesterday. Being outside in that sun, it definitely feels it as well. Ashley Gentle just said before the race that it's definitely way hotter out here today than it was yesterday, and we saw the chaos that it created in the women's race.
So to the middle of your screen, at the very top, is where that bucket is placed. There are ice bags in there. Let's see if anybody goes past and grabs himself some ice to keep cool. Nope.
Rico Bogan.
Of course, though. Rico Bogan, these are brutally hot conditions for him. Fred Funk's in the lead group. He's in front, 2 positions in front of Kyle Smith. Ben Canute at the end of that group.
Dave McNamee on the back
Peter
of that
Heimlich
pack.
as
His
well.
retirement race. Wish the best for him.
A very strong front group, though. Martin van Riel leading the chase. Aaron Royal in second. Alistair Brownlee in third. It was Rico Bogan who grabbed the ice in fourth. Yuri Kulin in fifth. You can see Magnus is just coming out of the water there. He did not make that front group. Fred Funk did. Justice Neilschlag did. Kyle Smith did. Mathis Margier did. Ben Canute did. And so did Jason West. And you can see that Sam Long is way, way, way back. I assume that's probably Leon Chevalier in second last, but yeah, you can see the leaders just making that pass there with Sam Long. That's, wow. I think, at a guess, that's at least 2 minutes. That looks like a long, long, long way back. This could be the biggest deficit in a swim we've seen from Sam Long to the lead group in a T100 race so far this year.
Yeah, I just received a stat that in Singapore early this year, where he did end up finishing second, he was 4 minutes down out the water, so 2 minutes down halfway, but he's got a long way to go, totally on his own now. He will have benefited at the very, very beginning of the swim with a little bit of draft from those other swimmers. Admittedly, he didn't have that for very long, but we can predict that it's probably going to be slightly more than 4 minutes by the time he comes out.
I warmed up in the pool with him this morning, which was an interesting place. There were lots of athletes warming up either at the gym or at the pool. It's obviously not a good omen to warm up with me before your race, but to be honest, we were talking about how he actually thrives on having a bit of adversity. He needs that. The one time he didn't have it in San Francisco, you know, we were all expecting it to go his way, but he is probably the athlete the most comfortable in this position. He knows he's able to put down his head, ride his own pace. He doesn't have to worry about pack dynamics when he gets out onto the bike. And, you know, he's used to this situation as it unfolds.
You can see Sam Long at the very top of your screen, the isolated athlete next to
the lifeguard.
The lifeguard. Yes, that is the lifeguard. You were the lifeguard yesterday on pool deck, Jan, so surprised to not see you out there in the yellow shirt out on course.
It would be nice. It's so scorching hot, and you know, if you're not racing, this is a perfect holiday destination. But right now, pretty sure all these athletes are very keen to get out of some 30.4 degree water. About to tackle the beach, as did 3,000 age groupers this morning. It's so good. Triathlon seems to be in a healthy space here in Dubai as our first men come into a transition to Aaron Royal leading them out, Rico Bogan, Alistair Brownlee, Martin van Riel, Fred Funk.
Yuri Kulin was right in there as well.
Kyle Smith a little bit further back in that group. Justice Nieuwslag was there as well. Interestingly, Jan, the wily veteran Alistair Brownlee lost his swim cap, but so did German young gun Rico Bogan, the world champion, who, in my opinion, struggles in the heat probably more than anyone else in this field. So maybe a smart move from Rico to lose that cap during the swim.
Well, he lost it on lap 2, so he probably looked over at Alistair and was like, oh, that's a good idea. But let's watch this transition, not super smooth by Martin, making sure everything goes in the box, choosing to put his socks on first, which will help him in transition 2. That's a smart move. Alistair Brownlee straight out, not taking that time.
You can see
and
Kyle
thank
Smith.
God Kyle Smith has got a liner in that suit, because otherwise, well, let's not go there.
Inspired from Christian Blumenfeld's Tokyo Olympic gold medal winning suit, I'm told.
Martin Van Riel is the last of the group.
It's a massive group, and you can see Magnus Ditlev just entering your screen into T1. So he's really, really going to have to work hard for the front part of this bike, but seems likely that he will ride himself pretty quickly up to the front here, Jan.
Interesting that Alistair ran out first, but he somehow in that 90-degree right-hand turn lost 2 places. I'm not quite sure what's going on. As the athletes will find that 20-meter gap, let's make sure they keep it. Dear Alistair, we don't want to see anything of any slowdowns that are unnecessary today. Well, it's fair to say that's not 20 meters, but it'll take a little while for them to find their gaps and distances. To be very sincere, I don't actually know what the ruling is this early on in the course. It could well be that they've got some room of error, but they better start putting an extra 19 meters between them.
Yeah, my understanding is that it's at this point now where they're up onto that fairly straight long section that they need to very quickly make sure that they are at 20 meters from this point in. I think we would see some penalizations, if that's the correct word, if they do not adhere to that 20-meter draft zone.
So Alistair Brownlee makes the pass on Justice Nieuwslag. Keep in mind you have 45 seconds to drop back once someone does make the pass. So that red flashing light you see on Alistair Brownlee's bike, that has 45 seconds.
And here we have a replay of what must have happened because Alistair was out. Yes, exactly. Something must have come off, which might have been his nutrition. You sure as anything don't want to miss that.
Absolutely right, yeah, and he knocked a bottle off just going up the ramp there before heading onto his bike.
As we see Magnus comes around, Dave McNamee here, Dave sees him coming, he's going to leave the... Oh! You think these guys get paid by the near misses? That was close. He saw him coming as well. I'm not sure what was going on there. That
would have been a horrible way to end your career if you're Dave McNamee. This is his final race.
His final race.
And that would not have been the way to go out there. But they have avoided that near miss, and Magnus has made the pass and taken the lead in front of him.
So Kyle Smith has managed to just bit by bit, metre by metre, second by second, as he jumps over that speed bump and loses his bottle. Not again, that happened yesterday too. Then nearly hits the cone. That speed bump it's a very, very sharp speed bump. They've done their best to ramp it, but you can't really ramp a speed bump that steep. So that's not a good sign for Kyle Smith, especially given that he was already hovering off the back of this bike.
And look at that yellow rubber band he's got. That's what the athletes put on the bottle cages in order to not lose a bottle. Then he looks to the side. Oh my gosh, near miss. Again, if athletes are getting paid by the near misses, then we should have an extra prize money pot for that.
And Rachel, she's with Team Ditlev right now.
Here he is.
Do you want to cheer him?
Come on, Magnus. Come on! In Danish, come on.
I don't think he can hear me.
He did, he heard it. Sorry, Sam, but I didn't carry it on.
Yeah, I was just saying that I think maybe he might be a bit annoyed that he didn't come out with the front pack, but equally there was some big surges. How do you think that will impact the overall performance?
I think, as it's shown early on this season with the hot races here, that
Puncture.
is it a puncture?
Do you have to help in this position? What on earth? Sam, what goes through your head here?
This is complicated. He just has to stay calm. I've heard that it was so hot that the tires were 47 degrees down in transition.
The seat post actually, and not really a puncture. So yeah, I mean, obviously this is a bit of a shocker, but I mean, he bridged the gap once, so hopefully he can do it again.
Alistair Brownlee taking the lead, and this is not on the first 500 meters of the run. He is out on the bike, putting the hurt on the field. It's a great sign, honestly. Couldn't be happier for the guy. He's somebody who's electrified the sport for so many years, and for him to come back and have a consistent year, it's very wholesome to see.
Can he do it today, Jan? We've talked about it forever. Can Alistair Brownlee finally win one of these things? As the magic man himself, Fred Funk, the newlywed, makes his way to the front of the race.
It's just such a thing of constant focus as well. I mean, there's just no chance to switch off mentally. You know, every lap demands focus and that adaptability as well, which, you know, can amplify the exhaustion as the race unfolds, because it's not just the physical battle, the mental strain of navigating every turn as efficiently as possible really is something that can wear you down, and a test of who can adapt on the fly. And we're seeing Magnus Ditlev trying to fit bottle number 8, 9 and 10 onto his bike. I mean, it's incredible how much fluid he has taken on. I know some of it is aerodynamic. Oh, flick of the wrist just to get the bottle.
From yesterday all over again.
Backspin
Well,
on that one, I
he's
think.
put some spin onto the bottle now, and
But we're going to have to check the replay, I think, just to see whether that bottle was disposed of within the zone. So here we go. He's just throwing it.
That sign on the
coming up.
right-hand
Yeah,
side.
he's got to let go. Oh, really in line with that. I mean, we need a side-on angle to see whether the backspin was enough.
He won't get a penalty for that. If Taylor didn't yesterday, then I think they're fairly similar. And Magnus looked like he was right on the line when he threw it. And that yesterday they ended up judging it by where the bike was, not where the bottle ended up. So it looked like the bottle ended up outside the zone, but I would say Magnus's bike was kind of right on the line. So I think he'll be safe there.
Well, Sam and myself have come down now to T2 because it's always really interesting to just see them come into here. They're obviously getting off their bike and just seeing how they look on the run before they rack their bikes here, Sam. So we're about to get eyes on the front of the pack. Obviously, Freddie Funk, we know he's been leading. Alistair Brownlee is up there. Could we see Alistair Brownlee get a good result when it matters in the final? Here they come, Sam.
That would be amazing. I mean, this is it. This is where the race is going to get really serious. We've got different tactics. Some guys have already got socks on, so Martin will probably get out really fast. But let's have a look. Let's have a look how they look off the run. Rico looks great, really light on his feet. Freddie, he has a more kind of shorter stance and more of a strength runner, but they all look good. I think they probably slowed on the last part of the ride, and they're just getting ready for the real deal. And here, talking about the real deal, here he comes. So Martin's obviously got socks on already. He's going to be out really fast. They've got different tactics. So Carl here has to put his socks on. He's got everything, all the white suit. The sun is really tapping down on these athletes now. Martin is already off. Martin and Rico, classic. Rico always so fast to get out, and hopefully this time he can kind of hold it back. Freddie out in third, and Matisse and Carl together. So, and Alistair just hopefully pacing it a little bit better than he did in Miami. I think this could be an amazing day for Alistair. He's done everything right so far, and yeah, we're just now hopefully going to wait for Magnus. Magnus has a slightly different strategy here. He's got an actual cool box in his transition. So he may take a little bit more time to get sorted out, but as Jan said, Magnus is very calculated and he thinks everything through, so yeah.
We've had a sprint finish before in San Fran. The three that it was down to have gone out together. Could we see that again? And who is your money on to come out on top here in these different conditions, very different conditions to San Fran?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. As I said, I mean, Kyle, Rico and Martin, they're so closely they're so close at running, and it's going to be insane. Could it come down to a sprint finish? I don't think so because of the conditions. So there's going to be partly genetic, kind of who can deal with the heat better.
There we go. Let's see how they get on, Sam. Let's jump back out. Let's see how this run battle develops.
Now we're seeing Carl Smith just slowly make his way up to the front as well. The exact trio that we saw run together for the entire 18 kilometers in San Francisco. Martin Van Riel just taking his time off the bike. That is Alistair Brownlee's shoe. So he was right at the front off the bike and had to go back to get that shoe to avoid a littering penalty, or rather it would have been actually equipment outside of the box, wouldn't it?
2 from 2. If you remember transition 1, he dropped his bottles, he went back. So Alistair Brownlee
so he's
has
making
probably
sure.
lost. He didn't get a penalty this time.
That's it, he's making sure.
But yeah, he's probably still got an extra 20 seconds somewhere in there.
If it stays like it is right now, then these 3 men who had that iconic battle in San Francisco and are doing it again here today would finish the T100 World Tour as 1st, 2nd and 3rd overall as well. So it's all to play for here today in Dubai. Kyle Smith is dropping. Martin Van Riel is making a very, very clear move here at the front of the race. Rico Bogen, the young German 70.3 world champion, fighting to hang on. And Kyle Smith, one of the big pre-race favourites, he's dropping. Can Martin Van Riel finish this decisive move and end Kyle Smith's chance of winning here today at the grand final in Dubai? This is a massive moment in today's race. Martin Van Riel is making one final move, one final big move to try and drop the young German Rico Bogen. It's 10 metres, 12 metres. Is this the final decisive move of the day from Martin Van Riel, or can Rico Bogen fight back one last time?
He is holding tough though for now. It is, oh my God, what a surge, what a move. You did say how how Martin looks good. Oh, yeah, and that gap is opening up well and truly now.
Alistair Brownlee makes the pass on Kyle Smith. Don't think he had any idea it was that Alistair Brownlee had hit the deck though, so does he know? Here, we're going to get a replay to see exactly what happened. So Alistair Brownlee, as he goes to the, oh, there's a little bit of gravel. Did Kyle Smith, oh, Kyle Smith did see it. He just had that little look over his shoulder, so he knew. Will that do anything to his mentality? Alistair Brownlee and Kyle Smith, both of their faces, you can see how badly they're suffering up this hill. Man, it looks like Kyle Smith has cracked. It looks like Alistair Brownlee has cracked Kyle Smith. He looks over his shoulder and sees that he has distanced Kyle Smith. This is a huge moment in today's race, and Kyle Smith is gone. That's the podium right there. Alistair Brownlee, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist, has cemented his spot on the podium here in the T100 Dubai Grand Final. And Martin Van Riel, his debut season on the T100 World Tour, the debut season of the T100 World Tour. A 3-time champion, the biggest of them all here at Dubai in the Grand Final. He is your champion and new world champion, Martin Van Riel, everybody. And what a race from this young German sensation. He has proved everyone wrong. All of us here in commentary included. Rico Bogen, 2nd place at the grand final here in Dubai. What a performance from the young German. And maybe no story is as heartwarming as this. Alistair Brownlee fighting like he has never fought before on the T100 World Tour. 3rd place for Alistair Brownlee here at the T100 Grand Final in Dubai. What a moment for Alistair Brownlee.
Well, he is the real deal. It is Martin Van Riel. He is our men's T100 World Champion. Just under 2K to go. You put your foot down and were in total control, it looked like.
I was definitely not in total control, but yeah, I could feel that I had a couple surges in me. Rico is really good at keeping the pace high, but like when I put my first surge in and we dropped Kyle, I could see that he was already suffering a bit, so I knew that with a couple of kilometers to go, I was going to try to put in a big surge. I think that Sam also remembers that one from Ibiza.
I do.
In my head, I knew that a podium place was good enough, and if you have that in your head, it's actually really hard to go for the win as well. So I was trying to not think too much of the title and just try to perform as good as I could on the day.
Yeah. What a moment there for the brand new world champion, Martin Van Riel. Winning today, he cemented his spot at the top of the overall standings in 2024, his first ever World Championship crown. Kyle Smith, well, he held on for second place despite dropping back to fourth today at Dubai. A massive year from Kyle Smith, a breakthrough year. You can see the gap though, 42 points to Martin van Riel. Martin van Riel almost in a league of his own this year and proving why he deserved today's title. Rico Bogan, he was involved in that famous run battle in San Francisco with Martin van Riel. And again, he was his final competition and final hurdle to overcome for Martin van Riel, finishing in third. Magnus Ditlev, ever consistent in fourth. Alistair Brownlee, everyone's favourite, the fan favourite. What a race from him today, finishing on the podium and walking up to fifth place in the standing. Sam Long, well, no one does it tougher and he finishes sixth.
What a first year of the T100 we have had. Taylor Knibb and Martin van Riel are your world champions. That is it for this season. We get to do it all again in 2025. It's going to be bigger and better. Come and join us for next year. Thank you. Goodbye. It's the Homestead Miami Speedway Circuit.
It is seconds out in Singapore, here in San Francisco. London is the next stop.
Beautiful Ibiza.
Lake Las Vegas.
On your mark.
And we are racing.
For the lead, here comes Magnus Ditlev. First ever winner. She has just stunned the world.
Martin van Riel, cost me!
Oh my goodness!
Ash Gentle, her second T100 victory of 2024. Taylor Knibb, 3 from 3. The best in the sport right now. And we are here, the last race on the T100 World Tour. We have a race on our hands. Taylor Knibb, you are a world champion! All of the biggest names in men's long distance triathloning here. Get ready for some brutal racing. And you